Oh, but you voted for this. We didn't.
Oh, but you did.
Karen, okay? We did not vote for war. We did not vote to be gaslit about the e-files.
Were you not awake for Trump's first term? Because we all were, and we tried to warn you. And in fact, everything that Kamala said would happen has happened.
Never voting again, by the way, because it doesn't matter.
That is not the solution. What you need to do is listen next time. Listen.
Oh, but you voted for this. We didn't, Karen.
I just want to say that if you voted for Trump, this is all your fault. 100%. All your fault.
America is more divided than ever. And now an uncomfortable question is becoming harder to ignore. What happens when people regret the political choice they made? Some Trump voters are now expressing disappointment and calling for Americans to come together. They say they did not expect certain policies to affect their lives in such painful ways. But critics are asking another question. Is saying, I regret my vote enough? For people who believe Trump's policies cause really damage, forgiveness cannot simply mean forgetting what happened. They want honest accountability and really change. At the same time, there are people who believe Americans should stop fighting each other and recognize that ordinary citizens on both sides are facing many of the same problems. So today, let's talk about regretting, forgiveness, political loyalty, and whether Americans can actually find a way forward. Remember, if it is your very first time coming across any of my videos, remember to like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And remember to watch till the end, and I'll be back with more comments.
You didn't have to vote for the orange clown. The fact that we're going to war with Iran now and they just closed the Strait of Hormuz, which 20 to 30% of all the oil in the world travels through, you can believe that gas prices, as well as the price of everything else, is about to skyrocket. And if you voted for Trump, this is your fault. This could have all been avoided. But you voted for a guy who his name appears more in the Epstein files than everybody else's name combined. You voted for a guy who is so in the pocket of isn't real that when Bibi Netanyahu says jump, Trump doesn't even wait to say how high. He just jumps and hopes it's high enough. And you voted for this. So when your children get sent off to go fight in this war, just remember, you voted for this. And if they come back in a body bag, you voted for that too. The idea that you were voted just because I don't care. I don't think anybody cares. If you voted for Donald Trump, this shit's all your fault.
Girl, yes you did. You absolutely 100% voted for this. Now I'm going to run down a quick list of everything else you voted for just to refresh your memory. You voted to harm people. You voted to harm people of color. You voted to help take rights away from women. You voted to roll back anti-discrimination protections for people of color and the LGBTQ community. You voted for the whitewash education and race-related policies that removed actual education from students. You voted to repeal the Affordable Care Act so millions of people would be without health insurance and remove protections for people with pre-existing conditions. You voted to restrict voting for people of color and women, and you voted to go to war. No matter how many times all of us told you exactly what he was going to do, including Kamala Harris, who said, and I quote, if he becomes president, we will be at war in 6 months. And here we are. You helped make that happen. You were okay with that. And you were okay with other people being harmed as long as you thought it would benefit you. People like you became really comfortable showing your racism, but now aren't we all seeing the tides changing and all of you regretting your vote? Because it seems to be affecting you negatively. Maybe it's time for you to do some reflection inward and admit what you did, because you're getting exactly what you voted for.
What do y'all mean it's not what y'all voted for? This is exactly what you voted for. Y'all said the same thing when they started going up in elementary schools, dragging children out and detaining them, dragging people out of their cars and busting their windows. Oh, this is not what we voted for. Yes, it was. This is exactly what you voted for. You knew he was on that list before you voted for him. In that red hat, I wish we could sew them bitches to y'all skull so they'll never come off, so we'll know from here on out who you were. I want y'all buried in y'all caskets with them, because this is exactly what y'all wanted. And now you're trying to back off, trying to act like, oh, it wasn't me. I didn't know that. I was voting for his policies. What policies? He had concepts of shit. The only thing he had was Project 2025 that we all read. If not in full, you've seen people reading it. You've seen people giving you excerpts from it. You knew this is exactly what you voted for. This is exactly what you wanted, because your heart was filled with so much hate. You wanted white supremacy so bad that this is what you chose. And black people too. Hispanics, Somalians. This is what y'all wanted. But now y'all see the effects of it. Y'all see what it really was. You voted for the devil. You was on the side of evil. And now you don't want to be associated with it. Nope, put that red hat back on.
Okay, so I posted a video about how I wanted the left and the right to come together to join forces and actually fight against the government. And when I say the government, I'm not saying, oh my God, I regret voting for Trump. It's Trump. It's all the Republicans. They're all so bad. When I posted that, it was intended so that they realized everyone is bad. Not just Trump, not just Clintons. They're all owned. They're all owned by AIPAC. They're all owned by Israel.
Crystal Beth, let's not play this game. Is this y'all new thing now? Now y'all want to be fucking kumbaya? No, bitch, thoughts and tariffs. This is what y'all voted for. Look here, meth head Methany. The only reason you want to come together is because you realizing your vote affected you. You realize that man don't give a fuck about y'all. You thought because you was white, blonde, and Botox the fuck out that you were going to survive these 4 years. No, bitch, none of us are surviving. Maybe next time you will understand that racism is very fucking expensive. And it doesn't just cost us, it costs you too. Now y'all want to be against Israel. We told you that shit during the fucking election, that motherfucking office was bought and paid for. Y'all didn't give a fuck. Y'all just wanted the illegals gone. Y'all wanted black women at the bottom. Y'all wanted y'all whiteness not to be shameful. How the fuck does it look now for y'all? Kinda crazy how y'all want unity after y'all fucked over everybody. Let me make something very fucking clear to you. I will not unify with a racist, a bigot, an idiot, a homophobic, a transphobic, an anti-Muslim, anti-black. We don't want to unify with y'all asses. Y'all fucking disease. All of a sudden, y'all want to be MAGA no more. No, stay your ass where you at. Remember, the country is burning down because of you. You and your people. You and your cult. This is not We Are the World. The world is burning because you decided to put that man in office. Cause bitch, we didn't vote for him. Now take your licks like you supposed to. And remember, we give no fucking sympathy. Y'all didn't have any.
Apparently, it landed on the leftist algorithm. So people that are very, I guess, democratic. It just ended up on that algorithm. And they are currently trying to drag me for wanting unity between two parties. Now, hear me out. Let's say I was someone who voted for Trump and I was like, oh my God, clearly this was the wrong vote. I should have voted Democrat. Like, if that was the case, imagine being met with that. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys what's being said. And I can't, as much as I want everyone to come together and fight against this, I realize that the Democrats are still treat people the way they treat people. They still, if you think anything different anything different than them, it's like, they will attack you. Everyone's attacking my entire page. I'm getting comments that are just honestly unhinged and uncalled for because I wanted unity. I wanted everyone to realize that the Democratic and the Republican Party are all just an illusion to create division and conquer. Divide and conquer. You know what? And I will say that with the Republican Party, when Biden was president and people on the Democratic side were coming to terms with maybe they were wrong and they were kind of seeing the Republican side of things. And I very, very much remember everyone welcoming those people, like being like, yes, you know what? We forgive you. We're open arms. Come to the light. That's how people that were thinking differently were met. Now, I'm not saying I was thinking I wanted to vote Democrat. I'm not voting at all because it's all fake and so I do want to say that there's those very big differences between the parties, and I just don't understand the hate, and I don't understand the bullying, because I said I wanted two parties to come together and fight the evil Satanists. I hate to say it, but that's who they are.
Oh, but you voted for this. We didn't, Karen. Okay.
I'm going to try to have a little bit of grace with this one because I can see that you're trying. The first thing you need to understand is that simply because you regret your vote does not give you automatic forgiveness. I saw in some of your videos that you said you're taking accountability, and making a video saying you regret is part of that. But then there has to be some follow through. There has to be some action after. The change behavior has to come after the apology. Now, I didn't go through all your videos, but I didn't actually see an apology video. I just saw a video where you say you regret your vote. I also saw a video of yours that said that you were wondering why it had to get so bad for you guys to wake up. And it's because you chose to ignore the signs. You did not use empathy when you were voting. You heard him say he's going to grab women by the you-know-what. You heard him call immigrants horrible names and LGBTQ people horrible names, and that didn't bother you. So what's necessary is self-reflection, probably volunteering at some Democratic office so that you can fix what you did, and then educating other people. Come on this app like you are now and say, I regret my vote because of this. Educate people why he convinced you and why you're woken up now and what you're doing about it now. Don't come on here and complain that people are mad at you, because you deserve that anger. And nobody is saying it's too late for you to be woke. They're saying it's too late to take back your vote. I hope that helps. All my love.
Starting on day one, we will end inflation and make America affordable again. But the word affordability is a Democrat scam. One of my top priorities will be to quickly defeat inflation and make America affordable again. I don't want to hear about the affordability. We will make America affordable again. We're going to make it affordable again. You know, there's this fake narrative that the Democrats talk about, affordability. Affordability is a con job. We will target everything from car affordability to housing affordability. You know, this whole thing is, they use the word affordability. It's a Democrat hoax.
Listen, if you're gonna be stupid, you gotta be tough is a sentiment that everybody should live on. And hello, dumbass, welcome to retribution. Welcome to the reality that you voted for. Because no matter how many videos you make, how many whispers you do, yes, you absolutely voted for them when you voted for Donald Trump. We didn't vote for war. Donald Trump was not secretive about what he was going to do if he was reelected. He's not smart enough to be secretive. But unfortunately for the entire country and the entire world, his supporters are even less intelligent. So they will look at him, say something, and then immediately go, but he's probably not going to do that. Mind you, this woman is so stupid that she is looking at the repercussions of her voting for Donald Trump, and her takeaway is, one, the same thing would be happening under Kamala Harris, moron, and two, well, I'm actually never going to vote again. What? You caused the problem, and instead of trying to fix it, or hell, even admitting that you're the cause of it in the first place, you're basically gonna stomp away and not vote ever again. Actually, maybe you shouldn't vote.
So for all those people that were commenting, oh my God, look at, see, we told you, oh, we told you. All those people that are saying that, like, oh, we tried, oh, what did you think you were voting for? It wouldn't have been any better under Kamala. Like we would be, the right would be saying the same thing to you guys right now if she was in office. So, I mean, I know that my video just ended up on the wrong side of the algorithm, and I know that there are thousands and thousands of people who think just like me, and they're awake to what's actually going on. If you actually know what's going on with the e-files, you realize something clicks in you, and you're just like, we're nothing to all of them, and they are just laughing at us while we fight each other. And I don't want to fight you guys. I don't want you guys to fight with me. I don't need you to be mean to me because I want to like unite us all. Like, that's crazy. I love you.
To the numerous people who are telling me it's too late to regret my vote for Donald Trump, too late to be woke, my response to that is shame on you. Shame on you for discouraging other people to come forward and take accountability for their mistake.
Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. Now, what am I supposed to do? Huh? So I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration, all this shit, whatever, that all these cuts and whatever he's doing over there, now they're telling me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids. Okay, I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills. I just really don't understand. I voted for him this last election because I thought what he had good was going on, but now all of a sudden, all this policy stuff's coming out, and now he's making all these cuts, and now he doesn't want to help the less fortunate people no more. I'm done with that guy. I'm not
understandable. As you should be.
Literally, if he gets voted in again, I'm leaving this country because I'm not dealing with this no more. This is all shit.
But I'll come back to that in a minute. First, it was the Epstein files. We were promised transparency. Then suddenly they disappeared, and anyone still asking questions is told, "Stop following me," as the president. That's not accountability. That's silencing your own supporters. Then Iran, and don't get me wrong, Iran has been yelling death to America for decades. They've sponsored more terrorism and proxy groups than anyone else. They were directly involved, especially with a lot of the parts and materials for bombs, with a lot of American soldiers getting catastrophically injured and taken out in Iraq and Afghanistan. You could have just told us Iran was evil and that we weren't going to placate them anymore. But you had to spin it. You had to throw the propaganda. We were told their nuclear capabilities were completely destroyed after dropping a series of bunker busters. But then, all of a sudden, they're close to a nuke again, and here we are at war. Which one is it? Spin after spin. The story changed multiple times. I watched it all in real time. The propaganda was beyond obvious. Do they think we're that stupid? Clearly they do, because if you disagree, you're called a low IQ person. And now this image, posting a picture of yourself as Jesus. Then deleting it and saying you were supposed to be a doctor in that photo. Again, stop lying to us. You messed up badly. Be a man and own it. This is the problem. Post something completely outrageous. There's a big reaction, then you delete it, then you spin it. That's not leadership. I hate to say it. That's manipulation. I did believe drain the swamp. It never happened. I believed in accountability, and it was coming. It never happened. I believe things would be different, and they are different in a lot of ways that I really love, but not for the most important ones. My priorities are simple: God, family, country, faith, morality, values, and truth. Those come before any man, before any party. This is how great nations fail. When people stop questioning, when loyalty replaces principles, that's when countries fail. Because history shows it comes when leaders and institutions lose all credibility. We already went through that crap with Obama and Biden. I supported him, and I was wrong. He has a lot of damage to undo, and I really hope he does. There's only one that we can rely on, and that's Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. So if you're okay with burying the Epstein truths, letting victims never see their abusers pay the price, at the end, a man depicting himself as Jesus, I don't know what to tell you, except if you meet Jesus in the end, the only words he's going to say to you will be, "I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity."
Over time, my kids' daycare went up, can't afford the cost of food, using credit cards for everyday expenses, no money left after their bills are paid. Pretty much just a whole bunch of financial mess.
We changed presidents at the beginning of the year.
We did.
And the guy who moved into the White House said that he was going to fix it. Several times he said it would be easy.
Absolutely.
Has he fixed it?
Absolutely not. I'm definitely waiting for him to fix it.
Jones is a 3-time Trump voter, but she says he has simply failed to keep his promise to lower the cost of living.
I'm very let down by that. Very, very let down because I feel like it's only gotten worse.
Someday everyone will be pretending that they were always against this. Nope. Not if I've got anything to fucking say about it. I'm never going to forgive or forget. You know why? Because there's no room for fellowship with me when you watch videos of people being summarily executed by goon squads, and you go, "That's all right with me." There's no room for friendship with me when you hear about 6-month-old infants being tear-gassed to the point they stop breathing, and what you're worried about is that protesters interrupted a church service because the asshole at the pulpit's night job was helping the goon squad grab children. There's no room for that with me. As far as I'm concerned, in 20 years when you're ashamed and you're scared because history doesn't look kindly on fascists or fascist sympathizers, so you lie to your friends and family. You say, I didn't really support it all back then. They should fucking know, because it is an indicator of absolute moral fucking bankruptcy to look around this goddamn country and say, yeah, that's what I support. No, I'm not going to let you lie and pretend that you were always against this. I'm not going to. It's not like a late payment on a credit report. It doesn't fall off after 7 years. I'm not going to forget, and I don't think anybody should.
They voted to hurt other people and did not care, man. I mean, nobody's obligated to pretend that never happened. It's going to take decades for anything to be reconciled, at least 1%.
Someone actually asked me this morning, well, does it matter who they voted for if someone is sharing that they're being bullied, a grown adult? Yes, it actually does matter. But also, it depends. Are they being bullied for something that they can't change about themselves, like their sexuality or the color of their skin or a disability they may have? Then sure, it doesn't matter who they voted for or who's doing the bullying. We should stand up for that. But are you being bullied because of who you voted for? Yeah. If you voted for the bully, yeah. I don't give a shit if you're being bullied at that point. Are you being bullied because you're a MAGA Republican who has bad hair and bad makeup and you want someone to feel sorry for you when somebody is pointing out that you have poor taste, not just in presidents, but in makeup and hair and clothes? No, I don't fucking feel sorry for you. It absolutely does matter when someone is chasing clout by claiming to be bullied by someone on the internet who is an avid Trump activist who has basically made a platform out of pointing out how ridiculous and insufferable MAGA women are. Yes, yeah, it does fucking matter who they voted for. Sometimes, and I can promise you exactly who is going to get mad at this sentence, sometimes people deserve it. Sometimes you deserve it. I absolutely have zero empathy for someone who feels like they're being persecuted when they're the ones that are actually doing the persecuting. And you know what they say, equality feels like oppression if you're the one that's always been doing the oppressing.
I find it so hilarious that Trump supporters are trying to tell us, oh my gosh, we regret our vote, we're sorry. It's too late. It's too late. What do you think? You think we were gonna come with you guys in open arms and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You see the light now. Let's be best friends. No.
Nope. Definitely not.
Y'all destroyed the country because y'all did not want to see a qualified woman be president. And now look where it's got you.
Just to put my 2 cents into the mix, fuck your purple revolution. I'm never going to forgive those people that voted for him. Ever. And we're done, as a society, we are done not holding shitty people accountable when they do something shitty. Like, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to forgive a racist that voted for Trump, who now lost their healthcare? No, I don't think so. I think you're getting exactly what you voted for, and that just makes me so happy. And just like to add on another thing to, we should just, we need to move on. We need to unite. No.
What purple revolution? And I don't believe a single one of us are asking for your forgiveness at all, because we don't need your forgiveness. We're not sorry. You know what? That's a double-edged sword, because we too are done not holding shitty people accountable for doing shitty things. And you guys tend to do a lot of shitty things, so be prepared for that fuck around and find out phase. I know that there are people out there that are still preaching unity, and that's okay. At some point, we would like to think that there's a utopia for that, right? But for me, personally, I'm not worried about unity anymore. I'm not at all worried about uniting with somebody who doesn't want to unite with me. So, good riddance.
Seeing some misplaced anger from some Latino people coming out saying, oh, black people, you need to be out there with us, front line, standing with us in solidarity. We did. We stood with y'all in that voting booth. Black people voted in solidarity against that man. I'm not saying this is not our fight. What I am saying, we stood up for y'all when y'all didn't stand up for yourselves. Matter of fact, let me show you something right quick. This is from American Society, Council of Americas, who got their data from the Associated Press, as you can see right here. 42% Latino voters cast a ballot for Donald Trump. Y'all are house divided. Now, to compare, 81% of black folks voted for Kamala Harris. Actively voted against what's happening right now. So I'm not saying don't be upset, but maybe direct it towards your own kinfolk, your own skinfolk first. Because we stood with y'all in that booth.
I want to talk about the controversial idea of forgiving triple Trump voters or not. There are a lot of creators on here who are making videos to explain why they voted for Trump 3 times in the past and why they would never do it again. And of course, there's a huge division over people who accept their apology and accept their willingness to change and grow. And there are just as many people who don't want to hear it, too little too late. And I think this is important to acknowledge. You don't have to forgive anyone. You don't owe anyone your forgiveness. A lot of these people, with their vote, have personally impacted you. So you do not have to be the bigger person and forgive someone like that. And
that's true.
You might be the type of person who likes to see someone grow or change, even if the impact in the past was significant. There is space for both.
In a state where so many people still support Trump during all of this is honestly the most dystopian thing I've ever lived through. Still seeing MAGA hats, still seeing people supporting this. I mean, the worst thing they'll say is, I don't support Trump doing this war, but I voted for him 3 times. But you voted for him 3 times. I'm gonna need, like, hysterical apologies. Like, please forgive me and don't take me away from this world, from these people. Like, please forgive my stupidity. But I won't get that because the stupid didn't go away. They're still sold out to it. Have the day you deserve.
All I will say is this and this only. I do not have an ounce of empathy in me for those who do not have empathy for others. For those who think empathy is dangerous. For those who said that having empathy is a new world term. For those who are hateful. For those who spread hateful ideologies towards minority groups. For those who are racist. For those who promote the splitting apart of families. For those who promote transphobia, for those who promote the rights being taken away from women, for those who promote purity culture, and for those who promote misogyny. I do not have an ounce of empathy. And most of all, I do not have an ounce of empathy for those when asked about gun safety, when they say, unfortunately, it is worth it for some people to die in order for us to keep our Second Amendment rights. Not an ounce of empathy. Do I feel empathy for those affected? Yes. For those people like that? Absolutely not.
I just saw another clip of a Trump supporter regretting their vote, and they're upset that this administration lied to them. Ah, shucks. If only someone told you that he didn't give a fuck about you. What are we supposed to say? Mistakes happen. Most of you voted 3 times, knowing exactly what you were getting into. In what world did you think he was looking out for you? In what world do you think that RFK, Kid Rock, fucking any of them wants the best for you? You really thought that they were just gonna make America great again and healthy again, and your life was gonna get better? You think that the people at the top want you to get better? They want you to be so distracted with hating the libs so much that you don't realize that you're also getting fucked. You know the worst part? A lot of you are still not going to learn from this.
Nope. Some will.
Because you got to
not all
thrive in a community where you finally felt accepted and significant and and superior. Go on, bring up Biden, bring up Obama, and just act like the functional people don't know that you're allergic to.
So guys, let's begin with one of the most difficult part of this entire debate. Accountability. Imagine supporting a political candidate because of a genuinely belief that that person is going to make your life better. You vote, you defend that candidate, and you argue with your friends and family. You watch political videos supporting your decision. Then, after some time passes, you began seeing policies that you never expected. Maybe your household expenses become harder to manage. Maybe your food assistance is affected. Maybe you become worried about healthcare. Maybe you become concerned about Americans' involvement in international conflict. And suddenly, you start questioning the decision you made. That can be a painful experience. Nobody likes admitting that they have made a mistake, but admitting a mistake is actually one of the strongest things a person can do. The problem comes when someone says, "I regret my vote, so everyone needs to forgive me." without asking responsibility for the choices that helped create the situation they now dislike. That is where the argument becomes complicated. Some critics say regret is only the beginning. And honestly, that is a fair point. If you truly believe you made the wrong decision, the next question should be, what have you learned from it? Are you willing to listen to the people you ignored before? Are you willing to admit that your political side can make mistakes? Are you willing to question information that confirms what you already believe? And most importantly, are you willing to change your behavior? Because saying I was wrong means little if you continued making the same choices. This brings us to the idea of unity. We hear politicians and ordinary people talk about unity all time. They say Americans need to come together. They say Democrats and Republicans need to stop fighting. They say country is stronger when people work together. And in principle, that sounds good. But unity does not mean everyone has to agree. It does not mean people should forget what happened. And it's clear, it certainly does not mean people should stay silent when they believe something is wrong. Really, unity requires honesty. You can disagree with someone and still treat them like a human being. You can criticize someone's political choice without hating that person. You can say, I believe you are wrong, without saying you are worthless. The kind of conversation is difficult, but it is necessary. The biggest problem is that American politics has become extremely emotional. People are constantly being told that the other side is the enemy. Republicans are told Democrats are destroying America. The Democrats are told Republicans are destroying America. And while ordinary citizens are fighting each other online, many of the problems affect both sides remaining. People are worried about the cost of living. People are worried about housing. People are worried about healthcare. People are worried about jobs. Parents are worried about their children's future. So the question becomes, why ordinary Americans spending so much energy fighting each other? This does not mean political differences are not important. They are. Policies matter. Elections matter. Leaderships matter. But we should remember that the person sitting across from you may also be struggling to pay their bills. They may also be worried about their family. They may also be frustrated with Washington. They may simply have different ideas about how to solve the problem. And that is where critical thinking becomes extremely important. We should never allow political loyalty to become stronger than our principle. If a politician does something wrong, we should be willing to say it is wrong, even if that politician belongs to our political party. This applies to everyone. If you are Republican, you should be able to criticize Republicans. If you are Democrat, you should be able to criticize Democrats. If you are independent, you should be able to criticize both sides. That is not weakness. That is independent thinking. The danger begins when people defend everything their political team does simply because it is their team. Think about sports. If you support a football team and your favorite player makes a terrible mistake, you may still love the team, but you don't have to pretend the mistake didn't happen. Politics should work the same. Supporting a politician does not mean giving the politician permission to do anything. And this is especially important when decisions affect people's everyday lives. For example, if a family says changes to food assistance have made life harder, we should listen. If workers say rising costs of hurting them, we should listen. Our farmers say changes in international trade are affecting their businesses. We should listen. You don't have to agree with every political argument to understand someone's personal experience. And this is where empathy matters. Sometimes political arguments become so aggressive that people forget there are really human beings behind the statistics. A number of government reports might say that something increased or decreased, but behind that number could be family deciding whether to buy grocery to pay another bill. Behind another number could be a farmer wondering whether next year harvest will be profitable. Behind another could be a person worried about losing access to healthcare. These are just political statistics. These are just political statistics. They are people's lives. Now, let's return to people who say they regret supporting Trump. Should they be forgiven? I think the answer depends on what we mean by forgiveness. Forgiveness does not have to mean forgetting. It does mean pretending that consequences never happen. And it does mean people who are hurt have to immediately trust someone again. Forgiveness can be a process. First comes honesty, then comes accountability, then comes learning, and finally there has to be some kind of change. If someone genuinely say, I made a mistake, I understand why I was wrong, and I want to do better, that deserves a different response from someone who simply say, forget everything and let's move on. Those are two different things. And this is why political regret can actually become an important opportunity for growth. People are allowed to change their minds. People are allowed to learn. People are allowed to say, I didn't understand the consequences before, but now I do. In fact, changing your mind after learning new information is not weakness. It can be a sign of maturity. The problem is when people refuse to learn because they are afraid of admitting they were wrong. That is one of the biggest dangers of extremely partisanship. People become more concerned about protecting their political identity than discovering the truth. They stop asking, is this right? Instead, they ask, does my side support this? And that is a dangerous way to think, because no political party is perfect. No politician is perfect. And no voter is perfect. We all make decisions with limited information. The important thing is what we do after we discover that we have been wrong. America does not need every citizen to think exactly the same way. It would be impossible. What America needs is a political culture where people can disagree without treating others like enemies, where people can admit mistakes without being permanently attacked, where politicians can be criticized without turning every disagreement into a national crisis, and whether voters put principles above party loyalty. So, if someone says they regret their vote, maybe the most useful question isn't simply, do you regret it? Maybe the better question is, what did you learn? What changed your mind? What information did you ignore before? What will you do differently today? And are you willing to help prevent the same mistake from happening again? Those questions creates a much more meaningful conversation, because America cannot move forward if everything is simply shouting at everyone else. At the same point, people have to listen. They have to reflect. They have to accept that their side can be wrong. And they have to recognize that political opponents are still human beings. Unity should not mean silence. Forgiveness should not mean forgetting. And regret should not be the end of the conversation. It should be the beginning of accountability and growth. At the end of the day, Americans may disagree about Donald Trump, Democrats, Republicans, foreign policy, the economy, healthcare, or any other major issue. But ordinary people still share many of the same hopes. They want to provide their families. They want to live safely. They want affordable food and housing. They want good jobs. They want their children to have opportunities. And they want leaders to take their concern seriously. So perhaps the really challenges is not finding a way for everyone to agree. Perhaps the challenge is learning how to disagree without destroying each other. If you believe someone made political mistake, hold them accountable, but also have room for genuine growth. And if you are the person who regrets your political decision, don't simply ask people to forget. Show them that you have learned, because the really changes is just not saying I was wrong. Really change is being willing to understand why you were wrong and making different choices moving forward. So guys, what do you think? Should Americans forgive voters who regret their political choice? Or should accountability come first? Remember to share your opinion on the comment section. And if you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification for more political commentary. So guys, thank you for your time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. God bless.